All right. So Michelle's gonna call my phone now. I
Mm-hmm.
should probably turn
All
off my
righty.
background and let's see if it goes through.
All right, ready?
Yep.
So I'm putting it on speaker.
You have dialed is unallocated.
Yeah, see, it says the number you have dialed is unallocated. It's
Yep.
like I have never heard that message before. And it is a kind of a robotic message. It goes straight to it.
Yep.
And then it disconnects the call. So is your phone off?
No, my phone is on. Can I try and call yours and see what
Yeah,
happens?
sure.
Um, but how am I gonna get your phone? Let me pause this so it's not recording. I'm going to call Michelle and let's see if
Okay.
we're blocked.
Okay. So hello.
Hello, hello.
Yep. So that works. But it
Int-
won't let me call you.
yeah, and I have the strangest things like all my family. I get like this robotic sounding voice to people quite often, but I know
Mhm.
that they're in and out of my phone. I mean, listen, I called them out before January 6th in my group that was
Mhm.
preparing for January 6th.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get any more clear than that. I mean, we weren't specifically preparing for January 6th, but it was
Yeah.
going to be our third time going in. And so, Michelle, what wound up happening was when I blew up that chat, it, I don't mean to take credit for it, but it blew up uh, nationally, the Proud Boys showing up in colors at January 6th because they knew that it was infiltrated and they were outed, right? So
Yeah.
everyone bugged out. Nobody went in colors. If you noticed, no one at J6 was in colors. And so
No, they were in black,
let me
blacked
tell
out.
you one more thing is that the leader of the Proud Boys, what's his name? Uh, the guy from the Cuban from Miami. So let me just tell you who my guy was, right? Because you'll be able. This is where I wanted everybody to go to. This is what I wanted the investigation. Pace setter was the handle. I was I was called Brockett. I was protecting him on the December thing. I was his bodyguard. He's the president of the Proud Boys, New
Mhm.
Jersey, and um the reason why he made me his bodyguard was because of the joke I pulled on them in an initiation with them. I got to tell you about that at some other point because you'll laugh about it.
Okay.
But so here's the thing. His name is Danny Mack. He's from Philadelphia and the Jersey Shore, and he's in the Iron Workers Union in Philly. He was charged in something to do with the FBI because of the incident in New York, where do you know how the Proud Boys started?
No,
Yep.
I don't think so.
So, a guy by the name of Gavin, he was doing a talk radio show, much like yours, um, a conservative talk radio show, and he had an intern who was a 19-year-old virgin or whatever. So he made this joke about it, and he said, "We're going to start a club called the Proud Boys after uh, a song on Aladdin, Proud of Your Boy." And so it wound up being this thing. And the initiation is you have to say 5 breakfast cereals while five guys are punching you to the body in order to get into the group.
Okay.
Anyway, years later, in order to set up the Proud Boys as a terrorist organization, Antifa was set up to go and meet up with them in New York City at New York Athletic Club. Gavin was speaking, and they came there intentionally to get into a fight with the Proud Boys. It all got caught on video of a store. The the Proud Boys wound up getting the best of them. But what wound up happening is it brought the Proud Boys to the front to grow the organization.
Mm.
And they used that to their advantage to implant the FBI in there, because two guys from New Jersey were the ones who went to New York and did the beating. They went to jail for 2 years apiece. My guy was directly involved with them, and that was the reason why the FBI hired him. I know
Okay.
you got to go.
No, so I want to ask you, or I want to tell you something, a couple of things. So I have a whistleblower out of Florida, and out of the area that that Flynn lives, and they've completely infiltrated that area. And she says that, and I talked about this on the show about, I guess, a few weeks ago, where she was talking about this event place called the Hollow. And she was talking, that's down there. And she said that there was a big event. She was so excited because she was going to meet, because it's Sarasota, Florida, where he lives. And so she was going to see Flynn, and she was so excited about it. And she said, but the weird thing was that it was the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers that were down there. And that, like, somebody who introduced Flynn before he took the stage was like a Proud Boy. And she's like, something very weird is going on down here. Very, very weird, Michelle.
Yes.
And so that was one thing. And then I had so she was my first clue, something about all that. Now, I came across a video about a week ago with a woman who was talking about the Hollow, and how once they came down there, it just, everything was weird, and the Hollow shut down and blah, blah, blah. And so I told that story again. So I think I've told it twice on the show in the last couple of months. But then the other thing that's happened is I had a woman, she used to be a truther, so to speak. She's completely away from everything. And it was because she was coming out and she was like spilling the beans. She was spilling the beans about America's First, Ali Akbar, which is Ali Alexander, which is Stop the Steal, which is Stone, and all that.
Stop right there 1 second. Stop right there, because the first time I went to DC, I went alone with this guy Mike and met Paul. We had no idea what Stop the Steal was. We get there. There are people starting to walk around the Capitol 7 times clockwise. That was Ali's team. That was Ali's crew. It was all good patriots that were there. It was actually Koreans and everything, like really good people. I have pictures with them all, right? But I knew nothing about Ali. I tracked them from that point on. On January 5th, they had in I think it's called Patriot Park or something in DC. They had a big stage, and everyone came around it. That's the place where you had, what's his name, blowing on the horn, saying that everybody needs to attack the Capitol tomorrow. It was all a setup. The whole entire thing, every person on that stage is involved in the counter to Trump movement, infiltrated in. They are they're the Trojan horse, in my opinion.
Which we've been saying that. Mike Gill and I have been explaining all of that. What happened was Mike and I started comparing notes, started talking. So I didn't know who Pete Santelli was. I didn't realize that was the guy that had thrown the fit and had the big fight with Patrick Byrne at the only Reawakening tour thing I'd been at. But I knew there had been a big ruckus and stuff.
You know who he is, though. You know who Pete Santelli is, though. He went to jail. He went to jail because of the incident at Ruby Ridge. You remember Ruby Ridge?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
Oh my God. So this is what they do to people. So they get them into precarious situations, and then they tempt them with the money. So Ruby Ridge is when that guy, the family was defending their water rights.
I know what you're talking about.
The FBI in, and they defended themselves with their weapons and said, nope.
Yep.
And it was a standoff for months.
Yes.
And
I can't remember the family.
Bundy wind up getting shot.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. So where was he in that? Was he one of the ones that was fighting for the water rights with the Bundys?
Exactly. He was with the
he's either FBI or he is CIA.
He's something because of what happened with him. You can ask my wife. I was screaming in the middle of the night. It was the first time she ever heard me screaming on the phone with people I didn't know, because like I was like, dude, I'm trying to help the guy. I have the stuff to put
Yeah.
away anything on my buddy
Yeah.
who's up for 40 years. They raided his home with lasers. Help me help him. And you're screaming at me.
Yeah. So here's the deal, real quick too, before I have to let you go. I wanted to tell
Yep.
you another story. So I got another woman. So she was a truther. She was telling the truth. This was early days. So this is a few years ago, early days of, faux Biden being supposedly in office and the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers are around. So what happens is and I've played 2 of her videos now on the show in the last month or so, but I won't say her name because she is no longer, out there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But so what happened is they got her fired from her job. She says that podcasters turned on her. They made things up that claimed she said things she didn't say, took things out of
Yep.
context. All this people she thought were her friends did all of this to her. And she goes, with everything that has happened, do you know what the most shocking thing was? Not losing my job, not the friends betraying me, not this, not that. She goes, you know what the number one thing was? And I was like, what? And she said to me, because she agreed to talk to me. And then, I ended up playing a few of her videos and stuff too. Probably not done playing videos of hers. But I don't say her name, and I won't. And people ask, and I'm like, I'm not telling it because she's out of this, and she doesn't. But she said it's the sheer number. Because I asked her who came after you, and she goes, "Oh, Flynn." And she goes, "Well, it's not Flynn. He has people. They came after me."
Yep.
And I said, she goes, "But do you know what the most shocking thing was?" And she told me she'd been gang stalked, all kinds of stuff. She
Her
said,
best friends.
"Oh yeah, sure." She said it was the sheer number of people involved that turned on her on a dime. She said, "Michelle, this is so much larger than you could imagine."
So much larger. When I show you all the people I caught, you are not going to believe it, Michelle, because I tried with every single person to let them find their way with me. And what wound up happening is I wound up catching them turning in weird ways that's just not natural. And so, it'll take me back to the Oath Keeper
what would
thing.
be uh-huh.
Yep. So when I called out the Proud Boys, I still wanted to go to January 6th, right? So I said, I better have a crew to go with. Well, I actually did go with a crew. You're not going to believe who it was, but nobody knows who they are. The true ones, a break-off group of people who weren't believing in the Proud Boys leadership became the what's the name of my show? The show I made, the
Chosen One?
No. The recent show. Hold on 1 second. Let me just go to it. So what wound up happening, I'll go as I go to that, is I wound up calling the Oath Keepers. And so when I called them, I said, listen, I just have to be honest with you as to what's happened here to give you guys fair warning to, either roll with me or not roll with me. But I just called out the FBI and the Proud Boys, and, I'm not going to run into that again, and I don't want to run you into it. They took a pass immediately. They were.
Why?
Because they were in there already. I was talking to them. They knew. So the Oath Keepers were also infiltrated. So it was the Sons of Liberty, New Jersey. So So they were wearing black and black flags. They actually were in the hotel with me. It's the Hilton by the Hilton Garden Inn right by the White House. Do you know I have video, and you can look at it right on my thing, but nobody shares it, of the police locking us in the hotel for the night at 7:00, and nobody is up in arms in this They literally took 700 people, locked them in a hotel, and there were 5 other hotels that they did this to, and none of you have heard this. I have
No.
video of them taking facial recognition of us through the window, and I'm yelling at them, I got you, motherfuckers, your badge, your number, I got you. And they did not
Wow.
care. So we have all of this, and it's overwhelming, because I want you to realize this. If I have this, I know I went a little deeper than most, but think of how many people have this. I was in the lobby with 70 patriots screaming to be let free. And they had 40 young officers standing in a line waiting to paddy wagon us if we exited our hotel, paying customers. And we're yelling, and they had preset the manager to be ready with his speech that I videoed to make sure to calm the patriots.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be okay. Just be quiet till the morning. Right? No, I want to get in my car, give me my money back, and I'm leaving. If you won't protect us, our rights, I'm leaving DC.
That's crazy.
So go ahead. I got a lot more to share with you, but what I really wanted to achieve out of this was 2 things. I'd love to come and triangulate with Mike Gill and you. And then secondly is, I think you should have Shaun Fife on for becoming governor of New Hampshire, because he is the answer. He sounds a lot like, Kevin, who I just heard for the first time. I can't wait to hear more about him. I love to help him too. They've sort of blocked me everywhere, so I don't know how much help I actually am. But my effort, because I realized that I'm so inept at January 6th reveal, I decided to just help in a more effective way and, just show everybody that they can access the truth too through God. And when you see my show, you'll understand the last show is called Love is Our Weapon, because I think it's being used both ways. These people are using our love of the movement to make us believe in a false hope, to misguide us into what I think is going to happen is they're going to make Trump lose the election through a third party run, just like with Perot. That was my first vote for Perot, and it was the biggest mistake. They're going to try and pull that noise again because it worked the first time. And, if Trump is really with us, it doesn't matter if we did nothing to stop them from stealing it yet again. And from what I can see, unless the Patriots have been doing it behind the scenes, we don't have it.
Okay, what is the name of your show?
It's called The Chosen Kingdom. It's on Rumble.
Okay.
So let me share my screen with you. Hold on, I'll show it to you.
No, it's okay. I've written it down and I'll look for it. I've got to go. I'm already late to my time.
I'm sorry. I'm so
it's okay.
I'm so happy you spent the time to check it out and
Yes.
what Mike has to say. And
I'm going to talk to Mike and then I'll be in touch.
I'd love to hear if they blocked us, because that would be sort of spectacular. Unless he was just afraid of me. Talk to you later, Michelle.
He's not afraid.
Anytime.
All right, thank you, Mark.
I run my own business at home, so that's why I could do all this.
Good.
All right.
Oh, okay, good. All right, thank you.
See you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.